What's up guys, welcome back to Vegapreneur. Today we're interviewing LYNQ Life, juicing on the go, made easy, hashtag vegan, hashtag non-GMO, hashtag love yourself, no question. See me inside. Guys, welcome back to Vegapreneur. As we stated, outside in the snow. Today we're with Mia and Antonella from LYNQ, hashtag love yourself, no question. The easiest way to make juicing on the go, super easy. Less than how much time does it take?
Oh, like
2 minutes. 2 seconds.
Not even 2 seconds.
2 seconds,
yeah.
exactly.
Literally.
Non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free.
Yeah, fruits and vegetables are all organic. Yeah, and I'm actually gonna make you a drink right now.
Love it. And what are you making me?
I'm making you the bote blend. So you literally just take, if you have the stick packs, you just take the stick pack.
Nice.
And you put it either in a water bottle or in a shaker bottle. So I put it in the shaker bottle and you just, and you shake it.
Cool.
Of course.
And so,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. And how did that start? So
that's it. It's done.
Nice, love it.
Okay, and if you have it in the bags, you just take
a couple of teaspoons and put it in.
Okay, you have to taste it.
So this is actually powdered, a powdered drink that it's all made with fruits and vegetables. So it's pretty much fruits and vegetables dehydrated, sort of like a juicing concept, but just dehydrated.
That's so good.
I'm just copying you. Just dehydrated.
Mia, you're the coolest.
You just add water and then you have juicing on the go.
Okay, so you have dehydrated fruits and vegetables, and then you just add water.
Right.
Easy peasy.
Right. So we added little flavorings just because we really wanted adults but kids also to drink it. So
nice.
We made them taste really, really good. But it's all natural and it's super healthy and it's a great start to your day instead of going through the whole motion of juicing.
Love it. And I guess like the first question that's going through my mind, I know for a lot of people, is like, okay, creating like fruit juices is already intimidating for a lot of people, and now you're making powder. Mm-hmm. Like, how does one conceive a startup based in powder, and also knowing that you're overcoming most of the objections of people like saying, I need to get an office, I can't work from my home. Because this is legit their facility, right. This is their home.
Okay, so
like how did this all start basically?
Okay, first of all, it didn't start off as a business.
Okay.
It really started off as a need for my family. Me as a naturopath, I'm just a mom. I mean, amongst other things, but I am, my priority was being a mom, and my then 5-year-old had gotten sick, so he had some health issues where he had inflammation in his system and we didn't know where it was coming from. So we were in and out of the hospital for about a year, and the doctors were just doing tests, and then I went to Mia for help and we started analyzing his blood work, and we started looking like if he had low iron or if he had high sedimentation, like different things that were
and which vitamins were lacking and all this stuff. And so we just started getting all the fruits and vegetables that corresponded with whatever it was lacking, and right. We started juicing for him just because he was having a really hard time eating.
He couldn't eat because he had sores all over his mouth.
Wow.
So he couldn't eat, so I went to, and back then juicing was also a big fad. So I started juicing for him, and I started using the right fruits and vegetables that would help with whatever he was lacking. Okay. And from that, anyways, long story short, he ended up getting better. And I think juicing had a lot to do with it, amongst other things. Yeah. He also removed his tonsils, and I know people are gonna ask these questions, like what was wrong with him. And then when he got better, I just became like, life goes on. Like when someone is not well, like you drop everything and you really focus on that and do everything you can do. But when people get better, like juicing it was time consuming, It took a lot of time, and I needed a faster fix. So I would literally wake up every morning, make them breakfast, and I'd be like cursing at my juicer because I didn't feel like juicing. I didn't feel like cutting up the fruits and vegetables, washing them, and then cleaning my juicer. So I came across a powdered ginger, and the light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, maybe if I could dehydrate my fruits and vegetables, that would be great.
Right.
So I started dehydrating fruits and vegetables, but that too was a tedious task.
So how do you do that? How do you dehydrate fruits?
Oh, you just buy a dehydrator. Yeah, you buy a dehydrator.
Okay, that easy, is it this one, right?
No. Actually, it's stored. It's stored somewhere.
Okay, stored.
But you buy a dehydrator, like $50 at Canadian Tire.
And so I literally just put my fruit
Yes,
and
you have to
vegetables
cut
there.
everything really
Cut it super
thin,
thinly, you put
and
it
it
there.
takes like a couple of days, and it just slowly heats up your fruits and vegetables to dehydrate.
Yeah, you have the dehydrator on for like 24 hours, 48 hours.
Yeah.
Dehydrating whatever you decide to dehydrate, and your whole house like smells of whatever fruit or vegetable you're dehydrating.
Okay.
But anyway, so I thought to myself, okay, this is not any faster and easier. So I then started researching where I could find dehydrated fruits and vegetables, and Mia was actually helping me out.
Yeah.
So
Because I used to always eat these dried fruits and vegetables every time I went to the States. There was this brand that I loved, and all my kids we would just snack on it. And I noticed that they also had them in powdered form. So I told her about it, and she ended up contacting the company, and we did a bit of research to see which different types of dehydration processes existed and which ones kept the most nutrients in the dehydration process. So,
and which one is the best one?
well, the one that we're using now is the best one. It's a patented way. It mixes a couple of different.
Yeah, so it's like an infrared dehydration system. It's
Okay.
patented, and it's only this company that uses this way of dehydration, and it actually keeps all of the nutrients and vitamins intact. So you're not losing any of its. You're not losing the integrity of the fruit or vegetable.
Right, because that's the biggest thing.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Because there's different ways of dehydrating, like freeze dried, drum dried. There's different ways, and sometimes you'll lose like 70% of the integrity of the fruit or the vegetable. So this way of dehydration does not. It keeps it all intact. That's why we have very high vitamins and nutrients on our packages.
Right.
Like everything. Like this one has 50% of your vitamins A, B, C, D, E, K, all from the fruits and vegetables.
That's
Yeah,
sweet.
we don't add
like
any
even-
synthetic vitamins.
Yeah, like
or
even our biotin one. I know I'm jumping from one thing to another.
No, that's amazing,
and
that's
I'm sorry,
amazing.
I think that's how my brain works.
That's good.
Like the Boté has over 200.
and 50% of biotin, which
Yeah.
is one of the vitamin Bs, and it's the one that's more responsible for hair, nails, and skin being healthy.
Yeah, and so it's like a good alternative for like a collagen, like for the vegan.
Nice,
You know,
nice,
like how
nice.
collagen became such a big thing for everyone. So this is a great alternative for our vegan.
Love that. So you literally were serving your son?
So yes, oh sorry, back to the story.
Yeah, back to the story.
Rewind.
Because like, how did you bridge that gap? So
Okay,
it started
so
as a business.
I
and now
started.
how
So
did
then
you-
I started. We got these. So like, I started getting these powders in my house, and I literally this kitchen was the lab,
Yeah.
and I was literally just mixing the fruits and vegetables and making it try and make it taste good, and I was sweetening it with maple syrup back then,
Right.
and I would make them for my kids, and I actually have a really good apple
Yes.
pie blend. We haven't made that.
We haven't made it yet, like
To sell,
Okay.
but it's
we will
At some
eventually,
point.
but it's delicious, and that was the biggest hit for my family. Like they would literally ask me all day long, "Oh, mommy, can I have the apple pie drink?"
Yep.
So, and from there, like I was doing it for years.
She was
for my
doing
kids, for my
it really
kids.
just for her family, and her son was better, and then a couple of years later.
Well, yeah, like about 2 years ago. Well,
Right.
and I would serve it to the kids, like their friends, when they
Right.
would come over, and everyone seemed to like it. And about 2 years ago, we decided to turn it into a business. Like a lot of our friends would be like, "Oh my God,
this
you
tastes
should
so good.
like you should be selling
You should be
this.
selling this."
So what I would do back then, remember, I used to put them in
Yes.
mason jars and give them to my friends,
No, yeah,
kids.
right.
Yeah, I mean, it really like I didn't have intentions of turning this into a business.
Okay. And how big was that ecosystem? So how many people were you doing? Or was it just like maybe?
It was my friends, like maybe
Okay.
10 or 15, like 10 or 15.
Yeah.
Which is still
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
good compared to like most.
Yeah, and it was actually fun because people would be like, "Oh, I have this issue," and I'd be like, "I have the perfect thing for you." So it made me feel a bit like a doctor, but not. But whatever. So from that, then about 2 years ago, I went to Mia and I was like, you know what? Maybe we should turn it into a business, and I did not want to do it alone.
Right.
So we embarked on this. We had no idea what we were embarking on because this is not at all what we envisioned, and
Right.
it has completely changed our lives.
Yeah.
like completely to the better. It is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Starting a business from scratch is a ton of work, and there's so much that happens that you just can't anticipate, and we've never even been at all in the food business to begin with, let alone in business for ourselves. And but it's been fun. It's been really fun.
We've learned like so much. We've also met a lot of great people. Yes, like you guys, 100%.
Why not, right?
And everyone else that reaches out to us.
Right, for sure.
But yeah, so we've learned a lot. We've met great people, and we're having a lot of fun.
Right.
We're having a lot of fun.
Nice.
I mean, there are days, trust me, that we're like, that I questioned the whole business, where I feel like,
and that's almost healthy, right?
what are we doing? And like,
because
where are
we
we
didn't
going?
even have a plan. At first we were like, okay, let's just turn this into a business. You know, like we weren't really even thinking business. We were just thinking.
Incorporated, or just like we're thinking of selling?
Yeah, well, my husband's a lawyer, so we were incorporated.
Okay,
that was
Because a lot of people don't.
and not because, like, I mean, we probably
wouldn't have
have
if it wasn't for her husband.
Yeah, but so we were incorporated, but it wasn't really to like, I don't know.
I don't know what we were thinking.
I don't know
really.
what we were
didn't
thinking.
have a plan.
It just sort of one thing snowballed.
Did it?
It just started and
just naturally, like just as a flow state almost, just.
Yeah, naturally, but no, we're also doing a lot now. Like now we're putting like a business strategy together. Like we're so it's kind of like it's grown, and we're like keeping up with the growth of it.
Okay. So what are we doing over here?
So,
and how does this relate to
Okay, so how does this relate? Is that all of our powders, as she said, the dehydration process, what it does is that this particular way of dehydrating keeps all the nutrients at any temperature. So whether you put it in, whether you bake with it or whether you freeze it, all the nutrients will stay intact. Yeah. So one of our blends here is the empowdered blend. And this one here has no flavor at all. It's just the dehydrated fruits and vegetables. And
zilch flavor, no flavor.
No, it's like barely. And so you can't really taste it if you mix it into anything. And it's a great way to get fruits and vegetables into whatever food you're making and hiding it, especially for kids.
Nice.
So today we're just gonna make some banana chocolate chip muffins.
Okay, nice. So what do you have over here? How many bananas?
So this is 3 bananas. So you can either add 3 or 4 bananas. You just mush them. If they're ripe, the riper the better.
Okay.
And here we have, I mixed white flour and whole wheat flour to make a total of 1.5 cups. And then some baking soda, baking powder, and we added some salt and the empowdered.
Nice. And what's the story behind the whole recipe? Is that something you usually did for your kids?
We often make these recipes for our kids.
Nice.
I find that it's just an easy way to, even guilt-free. Like, sometimes I'll make like a banana cake with chocolate, and I'm like, okay, is that okay for my kids?
Right.
And then if I add like, the empowdered, I'm like, well, you know what? They're getting the fruits and vegetables inside. So.
Yeah, so it's
It
a
makes
good
me
way
feel
of
a bit
getting
better.
them to get to get a snack or to get a quick meal on the go. Like for me, muffins is really like in the morning when they're late for school, they could just take a couple of muffins, and at least I know that it's nutritious.
Right. Nice. Okay, so like actually bridging the gap. So with hindsight now, I guess you could still be able to relate the actual action steps that did 80% of all the results that you got, right? So you're probably able to see a straight path looking backwards to where you are right now, right? Although you had
it was not a straight path.
No, but looking
Definitely
back,
not.
There was like a sequence of steps, no?
Yeah, but
This
I find a lot of times what ends up happening, and I don't know if this is really the right thing to do in business, and maybe like you kind of, you're faced with something and then you make the decision on the spot kind of, and then you thought you were going this way, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot, okay, I'm making a left turn and possibly even a U-turn. I don't know, like it's just,
I think when it comes to business or starting a business is that you can't really be so tied to exactly how you're going to do it.
Right.
You just have to know what your end result is or what your goal is, and sometimes you're kind of like
almost like
I don't
tunnel vision, and then you move within these parameters.
Right, so something happens and you move that way, and
Yeah.
something happens and you move that way. So you have to be flexible in terms of just like going with the flow a little bit, And I think
just keeping in mind your end goal. Like we keep reminding ourselves, okay, what's even when we make a decision, like we'll often say to each other, okay, what's our end goal?
Right.
Just to make sure that we're still on
on the right path,
And
Even
you have
though
like
the
a
path
ritual?
is.
to like remember your end goal? Like for example, I write my goals twice a day.
Yes,
Morning,
so
night.
we
Yeah,
do.
that's
We
good.
have like our mantra, I guess, well,
Nice.
or mission, whatever. What do you call it? We call it a mantra.
Mantras.
Yeah, so we have them written out. And we also have like the philosophy of our business written out, which maybe we should actually share
Right.
it one day with
That would be super
everyone.
cool.
Yeah. So we have that, and we have like it written out, like what we stand for, what we believe in. So a lot of times when we have to make these decisions, like we'll look back and see if it goes with our core values.
That's super important though.
Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah.
it's easy to go for like short-term profits and just like think scale, but then
Right.
that undermines
Yeah.
the value of the brand.
Right.
No, and a lot of times, like, you know, we've actually retracted some, like, certain things. Like, we were, you know, focused in one area, and then we're
Right.
like, okay, no, let's refocus here. So,
Right.
Yeah, because at first,
because you could easily get distracted. I'm so
Right.
sorry, I keep cutting you off. I'm so sorry, don't yell at me.
that's okay, whatever.
Pascal wants to say something.
Yes.
Oh, cook. Oh, yeah, you have to continue cooking.
Okay, so I added the bananas. I'm adding a cup of chocolate chips,
Nice.
and I think this was a third cup of
And the
maple-
recipes down below.
Yeah, maple.
The recipe
maple
is-
syrup.
It's down below in the comments.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it.
Oh,
And
okay.
Yeah,
some
she's gonna
melt-
share it.
and some melted coconut oil,
Nice.
and that's it. So I'm gonna mix. Well, and
Okay,
Janelle
yeah.
keeps talking because it seems like she wants to monopolize the conversation today.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
just kidding.
So like literal action steps. Like what would you recommend someone who wants to start something similar, who only has their house to start, they have themselves,
Yeah.
they have a passion, they have a vision, what would they start with?
Just start.
Just start.
Yeah.
Just literally just start.
Yeah,
First of
just
all, working out of your, like I love working out of my home, and we've spoken about having an office, and we have kids, like
Right.
that, just the travel time to get to an office right now, it doesn't fit
And
into
we're lucky that we live relatively close to
Yes.
each other. So half the time I'm in my house, she's in her house. Then sometimes we're at my house, sometimes we're at her house. It just depends on how things work
Yeah.
out.
And
But-
I guess I'm also very open in inviting people into my house, like inviting you here. And we also do a cooking show with influencers.
No
And we
way.
invite them, we call this like the LYNQ kitchen. So we invite them here and we cook with them.
Right.
And we'll be doing a lot more of that in January. So maybe we could have you come and cook with us.
That would be amazing. I would love that. Cool.
So we've done a few influencers already. But yeah, like basically just start. If you have an idea, I mean, execution is the most important. Like I've had many ideas and I've known other people that have many ideas, but if you're not gonna move on it or execute, then it's not gonna turn into anything. And not being afraid, like just kind of, you know, doing it.
Right.
And not worrying about if you fail. Like I've done things where I failed and whatever, but I don't consider it a failure. I kind of consider it like a learning curve, you know, like every failure is, you know, it depends how you look at it.
Right. So it's like
Yeah.
almost success through failure. It's
Yeah.
like yin and yang, but
Yeah.
it's like through
Yeah.
that. So like in terms of action steps, because I guess the biggest reason why people don't start is because they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what to take
Yeah,
action.
I still don't know what I'm doing.
Right. No one
Yeah,
basically
like
knows what they're doing.
like every day's a new day. I mean, whatever. You just have to, right, Mia? Do we know what we're doing?
No, we don't know what we're doing.
I mean, even this recipe, we didn't know what we were doing.
I can't find the cups. The cups.
Oh,
we put it
in the dry
straight
way, yeah.
inside.
Okay. Nice.
So
You
yeah, I
see?
mean the truth is that we
Yeah.
don't know what we're doing, and I think that the
Well,
what helped
I mean,
us.
it's not like
oh
we
my
don't
gosh! Shut up! Shut up! This is a joke.
Okay, so we don't know what we're doing.
Okay.
Oh well, this is the way we act with each other all the time.
Let's
So
go.
it's like not.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. I just wanted to say that I think it also helped that we didn't really have a plan and we weren't really stressed about getting it off the ground because we weren't really thinking of it as a business at first. Sort of like we were just sort of doing it kind of for the fun of it
And do you
almost.
think that's important?
I don't think it's important, but I think that not having the stress and not being so like regimented about how we were going to go about doing things almost helped us because it helped us sort of be a bit more flowy. And then sometimes we would meet one person, we'd be like, okay, we're going to do this with this person, and we're like, no, okay, and then we're going to. So like sometimes things just
But I
come
do-
up, and yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I do want to say one thing though, like, yes, we started it off, it was fun, but it's not to say that it's all fun. like I just want to make it very clear, like when you're starting a business, it's not all fun. Like there are moments when it's stressful.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
You know, you're investing money, you're investing time, and you don't want to lose out. Like you don't want to, you know, have nothing at the end. So no, it does get stressful, but I think it's the way you react to that stress and kind of just, I think we're very positive towards it.
And how do you overcome that? Like how do you overcome that like pressure that you put on yourself mainly? And how do you overcome that? Is it like a ritual? Is it like, okay, Mia, let's sit down right now, let's analyze exactly, let's go back to our core statement?
We've been very lucky, I think, that when I'm stressed, she sort of takes over being the chill one, and when she's stressed, I take over being the chill one.
Yeah.
So would you recommend having like a partner?
Having a partner
or
is
just
really
even if you're doing this by yourself, like having someone that you could bounce your stress off of, you know, and kind of just be like, oh my god, like kind of let everything out to calm you down and put things in perspective, because that's what it really is at the end of the day. Like, you know, sometimes we have deadlines or we have things that we have to finish, and I'm like, oh my god, we're never gonna get to it. And I'm like, you know, you think about it, the day's gonna come, you're gonna get to it. Okay, it might not be as perfect as you want it to be, and I think that was the hardest thing for me, because I'm a little OCD and I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So for me it was like not having everything done like so perfect, and so it's actually taught me as a person to be more relaxed and kind of go with the flow.
Right.
So, Mia?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest.
You weren't?
I'm very focused on my muffins, so actually I'm going to put
some muffins.
I'm going to put
How much is
them in
the oven at?
350.
350. How long?
I think for about half an hour.
Half an hour.
It's Mia's recipe. So they should be ready in half an hour, Mia?
Yeah, I would say about.
Do you want me to put them in the oven?
Yes, please.
We're putting in this oven?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, excellent.
Cool. So like, now I'd like to actually go into strategy and like the marketing. So how do you get more people to relate with LYNQ, and how do you create customers? How do you go and find people? So you mentioned you already started with people who are already interested in what you were doing, right? So like.
So our first thing was really friends. So it was a lot of word of mouth, and then when we decided to actually try it out on the market, we chose a couple of stores, like local stores, to just
so shout out to Jeremy from Real Bagel, because he was one of our
the first people to take on our stuff and sell it and give us feedback and tell us, okay, people are saying this, people are saying that.
Yes,
it was amazing.
and actually his feedback was great, because we had done a very small run when we first started, and I remember it was maybe like a month later, and he's like calling me, and I didn't have any more, and he's like, I need more. We started off with the Commotion.
Yeah, this one here.
With this one, which is like a
chocolate,
hot chocolate, cold chocolate.
And he's like, I need more, and I'm like, okay, I'll get you more, but I didn't have any more. And he kept calling me, and every time I would see his number, I'd be like, oh my god, I have to pick up, because I don't want to not pick up. And I'd be like, hi Jeremy, but and he's like, he's like, this is not good business, you know, like where is the Commotion? But yeah, so that was a good indication. It was a good indication that people obviously liked it.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. And did you know Jeremy beforehand, or did you just
well, I used to buy bagels there beforehand. I mean, I didn't really know him, but I didn't really know him very, very well. Only afterwards I found out that he was friends with my brother. But yeah, I just bought bagels, and yeah, I just asked him if he would try it out.
Right.
And we started off actually on Consignment first with Jeremy.
Right, and with a few people.
What's Consignment?
Consignment is, I just said, leave it here and see if it sells.
Leave it there and just
Yeah, so
pick it up.
instead of them buying it in advance, we just
no
leave
incentive, just there.
We just leave it there, and they say, if whatever you sell,
that has to be so satisfying.
It was so satisfying, and it was more satisfying to get his calls, and he would literally be calling me. He's like, okay, do you have more? I have customers coming, do you have more?
So hearing actually that somebody loves your product, because at first it was just us, so hearing that people love our product and that people are ordering more and want more, and all the good feedback is really motivating. Like, I think that that's really what pushed us to be like, okay, let's do this. So we kind of like got pumped because of that, you know?
Yeah. And even now, like when we get messages from some moms saying, my kids don't eat any fruits and vegetables, I love your product because now they're getting their fruits and vegetables in, they're getting their nutrients, or some kids that have allergies and they could have our product because of that. It just, it makes us very happy. I also want to mention that when we first started this business, I mean, it wasn't really about the product. I was most excited, and I think Mia too, which we haven't even gotten to it yet. I was most excited about the brand itself and LYNQ and what LYNQ stands for, which stands for Love Yourself No Question.
Right.
And I was more excited about what is that?
Hashtag.
And I was more excited about the meaning behind our brand. That, you know, it's more about, and because it started off for kids, the message is about, you know, teaching kids to love, well, and even adults, because sometimes we forget about ourselves also, and to teach us about loving ourselves. And in order to do certain things, even, you know, start a business, like you need to be pretty confident in what you're gonna do. And I mean, eventually we'd love to do, like, you know, get involved in like anti-bullying, and you know, that everyone is different, and you can't compare yourself to other people.
It's really about empowering kids, empowering families, and just making people feel that they have all the capabilities of doing anything that they want to do.
Right.
And we feel that also, even just being two moms, it shows people that, like, at any age, you know, no matter where you're at in life, even if you finished raising your kids or whatever, that it's nice for the kids to see that their moms are actually doing something.
And even for ourselves.
And for ourselves.
Like, you know what? Yeah, we're not in our 20s, like starting a business, or 30s or whatever. Like, we're older. And I think, you know what? And we have other responsibilities, like our kids, we have other things, and we're able to
juggling
still
it
do
all
it.
at the same time, like having our kids. I mean, we're constantly carpooling and this and that, and my kids do dance, her kids do hockey. We're always all over the place, and we try and squeeze in while they're at school as much work as we can. And it's about balancing it all.
Yeah.
Right. Now leaves no excuses for you guys out there.
No, and if you have I think it's also about passion and believing in something. If you really want to do it, just do it.
Just try.
Just
try.
Just try.
Yeah.
Can I swear?
Just fucking
Just
do it.
fucking do it.
Right. So like, okay, so
Okay, we're jumping.
there's so many things that we could dive into.
Yeah.
I want to really go into counsel. So like, a lot of people, they see like brand message, they see products, they see distributors, they see clients. They're like, oh my god, where to start, what to do. I'm just gonna quit right now. So like,
One thing at a time. Like, we haven't even gotten to our message.
Right.
Like, our
So,
message is
right.
there. We keep doing that hashtag
it's-
love yourself no
it's
question.
something-
But I
right.
think it will eventually come out. Like,
Right.
right now our focus is to get our products out. Although I'm most excited about the message, and I can't wait to get it out so I can work on the message. But I think it's one thing at a time for me, and I don't know, maybe for other companies it's more about the message and the product is in the back burner. Like, it depends what your mission or goal is.
At first, we were sort of like everywhere. We're like, okay, we want to do this, and we want to do this, and we want to do this. And then we realized after a certain time that it was just taking way too much energy. We were spreading ourselves way too thin. And then we said, okay, you know what? Let's just focus on one thing at a time. So we focused on the Commotion, and
this is your flagship, or
this is our first one.
Nice.
This was our first one. These two were our first ones. And then we're like, okay, now we need to make other flavors. Then we focused on.
And how do you know what to
flavors.
focus on?
Just what we felt was a need.
Yes, and also
was
feedback,
missing,
and also feedback.
Okay.
Oh, and also, I mean, what the need was.
Yeah, what the need was. So so a lot of, we were really gearing it towards kids. So then after a while we said, let's do something that can help the kids focus. I mean, you know, with all the ADHD and all the stuff. So we were like, let's do something that's for the brain. So let's try and find whatever nutrients are great for the brain, great for focus and concentration. And then we decided to do that one. And then as we were doing this one, we noticed certain vitamins were better for hair, skin, and nails. And we're like, oh, that's a good one, because it's just
And
to
there's that
compete a
whole
little bit
collagen thing.
Yeah,
So
to compete with collagen.
was this one, the Bote?
Bote.
Don't you love the name?
I love it. I would even take it.
It's great, actually. It's great for guys and girls. We just
Well, that's what
like
you're
that.
drinking, actually.
Yeah.
Tastes amazing. It's like really refreshing.
Yeah, it's very refreshing, and
And you could drink them hot or cold.
Yeah, they're all good hot
or cold. The
Yeah.
vitamins stay the same.
Yes.
That's really satisfying to hear.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
cool. So like, honestly, there's like so many rabbit holes we can get into. So like, overall, if you could like summarize it all, if you had like one word of counsel for young entrepreneurs who want to get started, and then how people can connect with you.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just gonna repeat again. Like sometimes
Just
it's
do
gonna happen.
it. Just do it.
I agree.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, just go
If
for
you
it.
believe in
And-
what you're doing,
Yeah.
I think that's what I believe. If you believe in what you're doing, I think that things could succeed. Because if you believe in something so strongly, other people must believe in the same type of thing also. And it's a great...
Your Bible tracks.
Wait, and there's also, and don't listen to the people that tell you the negative things, like there's so much competition, you're never gonna get into grocery stores, this, that. You know what? They're not you.
Right.
If you really want to do something, you really do have the power to do something. As long as you
have to put yourself out there.
Yes.
You have to be the one that's promoting your product and
you can't. You can't
sit aside and say, okay, well now
you
I
can't
have an
delegate
advertising
it.
company, so they're gonna do this for us. No,
you can't delegate. Like you really need to be all in.
Right. You have to hold a tight ship.
Yeah. So for me, the way I look at LYNQ is LYNQ has become my third child. So
it's almost like it is.
So it's my third child, so I'm taking care of it, and it's maybe 2 years old now.
Right.
So
starting to walk on its own, just starting.
Yeah. So that's and when we have to make some decisions, you know,
Cool.
That's how I look at it. So
and where can people find you?
Where?
Where can people find you?
Online.
Oh yes. Email.
Instagram,
email. Yes.
LYNQ Life on Instagram.
Yes. Email.
Email.
Which
you can
I
shoot
guess.
an email.
Yes, definitely. We answer all of our emails. Yeah.
Love it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Veggiepreneur. This was Mia. This was Antonella.
Thank
See you
you.
next time.
Thank you.
Oz eating his muffin and M&S Production. The muffins are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I cannot.
Mia's recipe.
And